gosh. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Talk Chef. I am one of your hosts, Reka.
I'm your other host, Jordan, and this is our incredible guest, Janelle Bentley.
Yay!
Janelle, thanks so much for doing the show. We love you. Janelle is an incredible food blogger, food Instagram.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to...
We'll never
We'll never not do that. Please know that about us.
We're not going to mute it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she's an incredible food blogger.
Janelle, tell us your handle so everyone can follow you.
Oh, it's just at Janelle, Janelle, Bentley, like the car, Bentley, on Instagram.
I mean, it could be more simple. And Janelle also has a really cool series called Let's Dish, where she interviews different people. It's on IGTV, and it's great. I love it. I've been watching it since you started it, and it's awesome.
Thank you. I'm happy for me. It's a great time just speaking to other foodies in the community. It's great.
Yes, we love. And we'll do the same here today.
Exactly. Yes, we're so excited. So clearly you're a food person. Do you also like cooking, or are you more like, I like to go to restaurants and like write about it?
So I love a quality restaurant. During this pandemic, like everybody else, trying to do something different, new when you're bored. And I've been trying to cook more and be good at it. Because before this, I never really had time. And then now that I'm home all the time, I've been cooking a lot more. I will have to say, one of the things that I really enjoy, one of the things that really come out well for me is buffalo cauliflower wings, like tacos. So I really became like a better chef at making that type of dish. I don't know, I'm kind of a very frantic cook. I wish I was better. I honestly just look at the directions, or the ingredients or instructions, how to make a dish, but I'm just kind of like fumbling and stumbling. I always have to look back. I get kind of nervous or like anxious because I want the dish to come out well. And like, sometimes I don't pre-chop, which is an issue. And then the pot is like already frying stuff. And I'm very frantic when it comes to cooking.
You're in a safe space here because we are not professional chefs. I do all the same things. I look at a recipe and go, oops, didn't know this was going to take overnight. I'm like,
yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've made cookies and then I get to like step 5 and it's like, let them rest for 2 days. And I'm like, I need even 1 hour.
Yeah.
But it does also make sense. Janelle and I used to intern together, and it's funny you say that you are like so busy, so you never used to cook. I remember like Janelle would show up from interning and she would be like, I've been at work all day, and then I went to school, and then I'm doing this, and then I'm going back to work. I was always like, how? It's not possible.
Tiring. It was a tiring year. That was like the first year of improv, and it was very exhausting.
That's first year of improv is very, very tiring. I can't imagine.
A delicate time. I do want to touch on 2 things. First of all, I want to give a shout out to people that we previously raised money for, which is Welcome to Chinatown. We love them. They're still raising money. You can always donate to them. They're also still selling merchandise. I got this Namwa Tea Parlor shirt.
Oh, so good.
Love Namwa.
Which is an incredible dim sum restaurant in New York that we love. But they're selling all different types of things, bags, shirts, pins. They have collaborations with different restaurants in Chinatown in New York. All the money goes to the restaurants. It's really, really cool. So check them out if you want some merch. And then also onto our charity for today. I'm so excited. They're called Invisible Hands, and what they do is it's a group of people in Bed-Stuy that since coronavirus have stepped up, and now they bring people who are stuck in their homes for whatever reason and can't leave to do things like get groceries. They bring them their groceries, which is really great. And they're also delivering and picking up people's ballots, which is so cool.
So cool. I can't even, like, what a great use of that kind of service. It didn't even occur to me.
Yeah.
Have a service like that. That's awesome.
Yeah. And if you live, like I said, they are based in Bed-Stuy. So if you live in New York, I know some people watching might live in New York. That's where Janelle lives and was born and raised. So if you live in New York and want to volunteer with them, I'm sure they're probably looking for help with that too. So they're great. So check them out. Donate to me. As always, that'll be open for 24 hours from right now. We've already had $50 in donations sent in. This show just started.
Okay, so if you can get $50 in 5 minutes in 1 hour, I mean, you do the math.
You do the math. What can we do?
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's because of Janelle. People were like, Janelle's on the show, $50.
Yeah, $50, but regardless of the content of the show, Janelle's on it, $50.
I hate Jordan, I hate Reka, Janelle, $50. Well, this is so exciting. And, you know, Janelle, one thing we do on this show, we watch a Top Chef. As you know, this week we watched episode 6. Yeah. And like Top Chef starts with a quick fire, we start with a quick fire.
Okay.
So you are going to have 45 seconds. It is the
quickest quick fire in all of Top Chef history.
Never has there been one shorter. And you have 45 seconds to answer 10 questions asked by me.
And they're questions, to clarify, they're questions like about your food preferences, about things like that. They're not like history questions or questions about like, what did Katie say at minute 7? Or whatever.
If we ever have a guest I really don't like, I'm going to just have it be like all math questions, I feel like.
Yeah, let's definitely strive to get a guest we don't like on the show too.
I don't know. I'm just saying. You never know who's going to be like, let me do the show. And I'll be like, I hate you, but fine.
Yeah, like, fine. James Franco wants to do the show.
Fine. Yeah. Steven from Top Chef is like, let me come on and defend myself. And
yes. Okay. So Janelle, you will have 45 seconds and I will hold up a timer from when Jordan completes her first question.
Okay.
Ready for your quick fire?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you usually order an appetizer?
No.
Your favorite classic appetizer?
Oh God, mozzarella sticks.
What restaurant has the best appetizers as a whole?
I don't know. Skip.
We've never had someone skip. Okay. What's the worst appetizer of all time?
Bananas. Anything with bananas.
Okay. A chef says that their dish will give you a nice BM. Yes or no?
No.
Okay. What was your AOL screen name?
Oh, it was Singing DC.
Okay. Steven, 1 to 10.
Oh, 1. I don't get the hype. It's 1 for me.
Okay. Could you win Top Chef?
No.
Janelle, I'm so sorry. You did not win the quick fire.
It's okay. The prize
at these rapid questions. I knew I was gonna fail. I tried to give up.
It's okay. The prize was a suite of Monogram appliances that would break upon impact with your floor. So don't worry about it.
No, you don't want it. Honestly,
you don't want it. It's garbage.
You don't want it. So I'm so sorry that you didn't win. I will say it was really interesting. We've never had someone skip before.
Yeah.
So much so that I was taken aback.
Yeah, Jordan was shocked.
They'd be like, skip?
Like, the fuck?
I'm like, is that allowed? There's no one else in my apartment to tell me what to do.
Also, honestly, so I know, Janelle, you said you don't like bananas. Viewing bananas as an appetizer, I do like, because that is something, if I'm hungry for dinner, but maybe like it's not ready yet, eat a banana. And that's in a way that is my appetizer.
I think because we were just talking about it.
Yes. I love it.
Yeah. I'll also say, I don't particularly think of a banana as an appetizer, but I do think of a plantain as an appetizer. That's
exactly.
Okay, but I love a plantain. So,
Janelle, you don't like a banana, but you like a plantain.
Because I like them fried, but anything fried is
Do you like tostones, or do you like okay.
For the most part, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so you're really staying away from that banana texture, because I prefer just like fried sweet plantains compared to tostones.
This
feels good. I like both.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like a sweet plantain every now and again.
Okay.
With some rice and beans, sweet and savory. Okay, but a banana, I just can't. I'm sorry, I just can't do it.
This is comical because I love bananas so much. So Janelle, I hope we can get along. It seems like we won't, but
yeah, the tension between you two already feels weird.
It feels palpable.
I'll try to work through.
Yeah, try to mediate, Jordan.
Yes. Okay. Speaking of mediating, Reka we're gonna go through the quickfire challenge now. So the quickfire challenge, I honestly was watching it and now I like can't even remember what it was. The quickfire challenge was that Ted Allen's there.
Yeah, it was that they had to do a cheap appetizer.
Yes.
Cheap. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Tell me when you want me to talk because I have no idea.
Oh my God.
We want you to talk all the time. If you please tell me to shut up.
Yeah.
That is my number one issue is I can't shut up. So
no.
I didn't want to interject. I'm like, they're talking about the quickfire challenge. I didn't want to just speak.
No. What did you think, Janelle, of the quickfire?
Well, I honestly, so I rewatched the episode twice. I prepped myself.
Be still okay, we're cool again.
I prepped myself for the show very much so. I actually watched, I'm up to season 3 right now. So I very much surpassed. Okay. Yeah, because I used to watch the show when I was
okay. I love that.
When I was younger, and I was in love. I loved the show, and then now you brought back my addiction of watching Top Chef. So right now I'm past like season 1. I already know who won.
Amazing. We love.
Anyway, yes.
So with this quickfire, so Jordan and I kind of have our thoughts about quickfires, but I'm curious what your thoughts are. We usually like prefer something that inspires creativity, that is, like nothing like, there was, for instance, in episode 1 of season 1, they had to like work the line at Eric Repair's really fancy restaurant, Fleur de Lis. And we didn't like that. That's like a little too like fancy and like, it's boring. It's very technical, which isn't fun to watch in a quickfire. So what did you think of this one? Basically the challenge to outline it was you have 20 minutes to make an appetizer that, according to the somewhat arbitrary prices of the items they laid out in the Chef Kitchen, has to add up to less than $3. So you're like weighing pieces of radicchio and weighing oysters to like make it add up to less than $3. So what'd you think?
This quick fire challenge I could have done without. I didn't really like this one just because it's just like, okay, whatever, you're just using prices and you have to calculate and stuff like that. But there are some, it kind of reminds me of Chopped, and I love Chopped. So I do like quickfire challenges just because it's like they add an element of surprise and you have to try to figure out what to do with them. And yes, the creativity does come in. So I do like the creative challenges. I guess if I had to pick, I would like the creative challenges. I don't like the stuff that's just like, okay, I don't know, like this one specifically, like you had to like go and select I'm trying to think which episode. I don't want to skip too far because
this show came out in 2006.
I know.
I think it's fine to spoil it. If anyone in the
I like the one that there was one episode where they had to use junk food. There was like a vending machine.
Yes, we already saw that episode.
Okay. Okay, great. So
no, the one in season 2?
Oh, I think I'm talking about season 2.
Oh, wasn't there one in season 1 where they'd use junk food? I do the same thing as you, Janelle, where I watch 75 episodes in a row, and then I'm like, you remember in season 17? Oh,
Reka, the one that you're talking about, I don't think we've gotten to that challenge yet, where they recreate junk food. But Janelle, maybe you're talking about the vending machine one.
Oh, I was talking about the gas station food.
Oh, I love that. See, like I like that. It's like a loop. Yeah, I like the gas station. I like the junk. I just like things that like, oh wow, an element of surprise. Like there was one that I just watched where they were like, it was just a bunch of random items like mukbang or yeah, it was like one of those, and I like that because it's like, okay, it's adding something new to the dish, something that you don't usually use.
Yeah.
I obviously with the timing, it's kind of crazy because I don't like the fact that it's like sometimes like 15 minutes, sometimes like 10 minutes, sometimes like 30 minutes. And I'm like, okay, I understand that like they're supposed to be competing to be top chefs, but like give some time. Like, I just feel like you're not going to get a quality good dish. And then they're like, oh, like this is 10 minutes and it's this, like what quality is this? Yeah. I'm like, you're expecting the most out of these people. Like they just got off the plane. Like they're here.
There's a challenge in a quickfire in some season in the future where everyone uncovers a cloche. I think it's season 8 or something. They uncover a cloche and has a timer. And according to whatever food is on their tray, they have that amount of time to cook that thing. And someone got 40 minutes for risotto. And I was like, notoriously, on this show particularly, no one can cook risotto in 40 minutes.
just not happening.
So I hear you on that. I thought this quick fire was okay. I like the like element of like affordability, but I kind of think like once you have like oysters and stuff on the table, I'm like, well, that's not like affordable necessarily.
Yeah.
Like,
someone had oysters.
Yeah, a lot of them did, and I'm like, okay, I want like a grocery store level affordable appetizer challenge, like using just fresh produce, like the cheapest things in a grocery store or whatever. Make a nice appetizer you could serve at a restaurant, because a lot of these are like, yeah, like an oyster, I'm like, that feels like if caviar happened to be $1 that day at the store and you use that in your
$1 caviar day, they have a big bin of it, you scoop it out with
we all know this. You go to the grocery store, you see if the dollar caviar bin still has caviar in it.
I don't know. Stuff is just like, it's pretty interesting because they stress this like fine dining cuisine. They don't really do, I mean, because I get it, they're Top Chef, they're supposed to be like elites, whatever, but like I feel like it'd be nice sometimes to, you know, like have a regular meal. Like I don't know why it has to be so, because some of the chefs that are on there they have their own diners, like they're just top like chefs. Some of them work in fine dining, but it'd be nice to like, you know, switch it up every now and then.
Yes.
Bring like a casual Friday to Top Chef.
Yes, casual. I love that. Like Hawaiian shirts and hamburger buns.
Yeah.
I mean, they have so many challenges. They can make that one work.
Yes. So just to recap some of the ingredients they sort of lumped together. Oh, also Jordan, I didn't ask what you thought of this challenge.
Oh, well, clearly I didn't care about it that much because I literally didn't even pick up that they were having to
do it for under $3.
Do stuff with money. So I just watched them weigh things and I was like, okay. I was like, oh, the challenge is that Ted Allen is here. That's like how I thought of it. So I thought almost, no, go. I'm sorry. With Zoom, it's so hard because of the lag. Sorry, Janelle, what were you saying?
No, as soon as Ted Allen came, I was just like, wow, like this man is prominent. Like he's just very excited. Like he was bringing so much sass to it. He was like, guys, be ready. I'm like,
I'm nervous. I am serving 8 of my friends. Yeah. I was like, that's not that many friends.
He was like, you better impress everyone. Calm down. Like, why is it so weighted? Like, I wasn't even there. Like, calm down.
I am releasing a book.
Yeah.
For 8 of my closest friends.
It's like, okay, cool. Yeah, I want to know, what do people think? Do we think he wrote his jokes that he says on the show himself, or do we think he had a joke writer?
I think he had a joke writer. It was just too on the nose for every, like, it was just like, and he would have like this weird chuckle at the end of each one. He's like,
yes, he looked directly into camera every time too.
Yeah, wink and then an iris kind of closed.
Yeah.
To go over the ingredients and then what the quick fire dishes they made are. So Janelle, we usually do just like a quick thumbs up, thumbs down of like, that sounds good, or that sounds gross, or that sounds okay. Yeah. So just going over the ingredients first before we even get to the dishes. Leanne picked oyster, bacon, and sea beans, which again, I'm like, you can't find these things for under $3. Yeah. So the premise is already kaput. Tiffany got oysters, avocado, and cilantro. I defy you to find an avocado that isn't $2.
Think about the fact that this was 2006. So I don't know what the cost of an avocado was in 2006.
Wow, inflation on avocados. Okay, hop in the chat if you know the inflation of avocados.
Yeah.
I am very curious. Dave, his lower third said chicken and garnish. Okay. Andrea got carrots, pear, and lettuce. Harold got bacon, Trevisano, gorgonzola. I'm like, this is not $3. I don't know how much I could say this is not $3. Stephen got clams, sea beans, and carrots. Miguel got asparagus, pears, and cheese. So the final dishes they made, and we'll do the thumbs up, thumbs down. Stephen, everybody's fave, made poached baby manila clams. I did write cans, clams over grilled sea beans. I don't know. I've never had a clam, so I don't know.
I'm like in the middle.
Yeah.
I can't believe that Rika, I just dropped it in the chat. Rika has added a new thumbs in the middle option. Something that never existed before. And
it's for me. Okay, if you're a vegetarian rating of meat dish, you can go like this.
Yeah, so that's me. I don't know I never had a sunbeam or whatever they call
Or
it.
a sea bean. Honestly, I would eat a sunbeam.
Yeah.
I love on sunbeams. I think I would gain power. Miguel made an antipasti plate, which was basically just an elaborate fruit and cheese plate.
I'm always down for a cheese plate.
I'd eat it. Jordan doesn't like fruit. That's another.
Okay, no, listen, I'd eat it, but this is Top Chef, and you're making a fruit and cheese plate for a quick fire. I go the opposite of Janelle. I'm like,
is this like we're eating it, or is it like is it supposed to be the quality of Top Chef?
I think it's for me. I rate it on if I think it sounds good. That's what I rate it on.
Yeah, I'm reading it like I would eat that.
Okay, you guys win. I would eat that. I'd eat that. Okay, you win.
Ultimately, the show is about bullying. No, Jordan, I respect your decision to not eat a fruit and cheese plate. It's Top Chef. I guess.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, okay, and not even that it's like, it's just not creative at all.
And I will point out their second quickfire this season was perplexingly to make a fruit plate. And everybody except Harold and Tiffany and Leanne made horrific fruit plates.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
What?
Was Elizabeth, did they do that challenge because Elizabeth Faulkner is gay? So they did a fruit challenge?
That can't be true.
I don't think that's it.
Okay.
You got so
a ghost just left Jordan's body.
I just thought about it. I was like, oh yeah, we're doing the fruit challenge. Get the gay judge. Doesn't that seem? I don't know. If you're also gay like me, drop it in the comments if you think that was on purpose. Or
I literally thought you were gonna say drop it in the comments, like period. If you're also gay, just drop it.
Drop it in the comments. Let me know.
Jordan is single, so please drop it in the comments. Incredible. Okay, so Leanne made deep fried oysters with reduced lemon garlic cream. That sounds really good to me.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I love
that. I'm sorry to break up this, but Leanne, I felt like she was one of the contenders for me that I thought should win.
Yes.
I'm fine that Harold won because I'd rather him than I said it too early. I'm sorry.
You're fine. You're fine.
Again, the show came out in 2006.
Again, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it.
Episode 6.
But yes, I agree. I think Leanne is super strong out the gate in this season in a way that for me, because Jordan and I had always talked about Leanne in a further season, she comes back. And I was like, I don't get Leanne. And it's because I hadn't seen this season in a really long time. And it's making me really appreciate how much of a badass she is, not to, be like, she had to prove herself to me, but like, oh yeah, she crushes this season. She's so clearly ahead of the curve.
I mean, she crushed it enough that she got a job.
Yeah, being a food, food producer?
Yeah, some kind of food. Yeah, the food producer.
Yeah. Okay, so Harold made bacon-wrapped Trevisano with gorgonzola brulee. So curious.
I don't eat bacon.
Okay, we also don't eat bacon.
I don't eat bacon either.
Okay, I just wouldn't eat. I don't know.
I guess, does it sound good to you?
I mean, I don't. I've never had gorgonzola, and I don't really eat. I don't like bacon that much. So
okay, then it's a no. There's absolutely no pressure. For any reference, I eat vegan now, and I've been vegetarian for like 18 years, and I'm like, yeah, ribs. It truly doesn't matter.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
Tiffany made oysters 3 ways. One raw with a pomegranate mignonette, one deep fried, and one with like a white wine and cream poached oyster. I thought that sounded good.
Just kiss. We love. I'm a big oyster fan, so
I've never had an oyster, but
they're good.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrea made a carrot and pear salad with honey mustard dressing. I gotta go.
If I'm giving Miguel the thumbs down for not being impressive, I have to give it to Andrea too.
To me, this is like a side you get at Dig In or something, and it costs $19 for some reason because it's like seasonal, and then you eat it and you're like, what? Is this carrots with sugar?
Yeah, like this is like one whole just like carrot.
Yes, but she did say a thing. It was almost like when someone you're in a relationship with does something that you don't like, but it's because they actually did something you like that they then reveal. So Andrea makes this carrot slaw and then she goes, "You'll have a nice BM." And I was like,
that's why I laughed when you asked him the question.
wow.
I was like, ugh. I was like, BM.
I was like, I'm so sorry, Andrea, for anything I've said on this VOD. When she said that, I was like, I love you. You're talking about if Katie Lee is going to shit after this. Katie Lee, famously ex-wife of Billy Joel, at the time was married to Billy Joel. Okay. Mm-hmm. And famously, as we will say every week, wrote a book called fuck, why can't I ever remember?
It's about surfing.
It's about surfing. Sorry, everyone. I literally can't remember this.
She really like built herself up like she was gonna like say it real
Groundswell. Sorry. Groundswell. My God, what is wrong with me? Okay. So yeah, telling Katie Lee she's gonna take a shit after this. Andrea won my heart. She could do anything now. I love that. And then Dave made a cumin and oregano chicken skewer with adobo honey butter.
Yeah.
I was like, Jordan's all over this.
I love honey butter.
Yes. Yes.
Honey butter is so good.
It's so good. Okay, so in the top was Leanne and Tiffany and Steven and Harold. And winner was Steven, who said, "I knew my dish was the best. Ted Allen told me it was extraordinary and exquisite." He might have said that. It wasn't in the edit, so it does look like Steven made that up.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do have something to say about that because I remember this quick fire challenge and how people were upset about it. I felt like Harold should have won that. Just saying, because apparently, like, his was great. It looked great. It sounded like Ted Allen liked it a lot, and then he picked Steven's dish, which was just apparently what they were all saying. It looked like art. I forget who said it exactly.
Yes, they said it looked like honestly, he might have said it because he talks about himself. By the way, Janelle, as another thing we point out every week, Steven is 24 years old.
I know. Okay, he is. It is so wild to me because he's 24. For some reason, I was thinking about the ages on this show. They look so old. I don't know. Like, every person looks like they're at least like late 20s to early 30s. Like, I would never think.
Yes.
Like they were 24. And then Candace, I think she was 23.
Yes.
She looks like she's like a late 20s. Like, why does she look so old?
Like, she's like a model, as she says. Yeah. And so she has like an older look. She's maybe the only, because she's so glam as like part of her like other job. I like get it. But like someone like Steven, I'm like, you don't need to dress like that. But you have taken on the personality of a 58-year-old man at age probably 7.
Wait, you're asking me my rating of Steven. Now I want to know your rating of Steven, because there was one episode where they were doing like the sex thing where they went to the sex shop and like whatever. And like, I don't understand. And then the woman was like, Madam S or whatever her name was. She was like, oh, like he's hot. I was like, am I losing my mind? I'm like, hot.
I know. It's just Steven's personality is so offensive to me.
Yes, it makes like a 50.
Even if he looked like Padma, it's just like, no. This is like, you're
not even if it looks like Padma.
I don't know.
Oh, and let's talk about that host. So I did not remember season 1's host at all. I don't think I ever really watched season 1. So I've always been used to Padma. And then I watched season 1 and I was like, who is this chick? I was like, first of all, she looks very young and she just looks so off because she doesn't really fit with the other judges. I feel like she's trying to fit in by dressing older, but she looks very young. And then also I didn't know her name until this episode. I don't think I actually physically like paid attention to her name.
Took it in.
Okay. This goes back to my analogy I made in episode 1 that nobody understood, but it's like, she sort of has this personality that's very wooden and you can kind of like see right through her. So I said her aura is like a ladder and nobody understood or agreed. I believe she's a lovely person in real life, but just simply in season 1 of Top Chef.
I think she just can't compare to Padma. That's why they changed her.
I know.
Like,
I know. I hope she's doing well.
I'm sure she's doing well. I mean, she got there. So
and then she got divorced from Billy Joel. She's fine.
And she wrote a book called Groundswell.
Guys, we have to raise money.
That's the Katie that you were talking about. This is how much you don't pay attention to this girl. I was like, who's Katie? I was like, all right, I guess she's a chef.
Yes, that's the host. So that's Billy Joel's wife at the time.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. I mean.
And you know, speaking of is someone doing well, again, if you want to donate to Invisible Hands Deliver, Venmo Jordan, I'm gonna pop it in the chat right now. At her handle at JORDANMYR1CK. Let's see. Ooh, we've got people voting for Padma. It's funny because I say Padma because of contextual, but it doesn't matter. Okay, Padma, whatever. Just for the one Indian person that's maybe watching. Okay, so moving on to the elimination.
That you feel like you could be, like you want to be her, well, you like analyze her.
So do I analyze Padma?
Yeah.
I mean, don't we all?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You're like, oh, like that's how I feel whenever I see a Black female lead. I'm like, that's me. Like I can feel
Janelle, not just Indian, every Black person, Asian person, Latinx person. I'm like, that's me. every person on the street, on TV,
on the street,
whatever, in a magazine. So yes, Padma, I'm like, wow, be still my beating heart, a South Indian woman. We really stand Padma on this show. Okay, elimination challenge. Cooking a cohesive 7-course meal for the 8 people at Ted Allen's cookbook launch party. $50 per guest. So I guess that's a fancy way of saying $400.
Yeah.
I don't know why they just didn't say that. But what do we think? Do we like this challenge?
What did they? Oh.
Okay. Well, I feel like you have to say the twist.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
I audibly gasped in my room.
So sorry. Yes. So the challenge was pretty straightforward enough, which this is the first twist of Top Chef season 1, which is like a thing that is very common in later seasons. They each pick their own course to cook. And Tiffany kind of very much is like, Steven, you got immunity, so you should cook dessert. And he's like, okay. And then they're already bought their ingredients. They already started cooking. And Tom comes in and it goes, here's a twist. Here's a knife block. You have to pull a different course. And they all pull different courses. So they have to use whatever ingredients the other person bought and cook their course, basically. What did we think?
I was shocked. I was shook.
I was appalled. I threw up.
I was really offended. I was like, are you kidding me? Like these chefs, I mean, I get it. It's supposed to really keep them on their toes and whatever. But come on, they really put this together, their meals. And I think somebody said it, Tiffany said it during the episode. She was like, well, people get for chefs, I don't know how chefs deal with their situation, but because I'm not a chef, but I think it's interesting that they're Tiffany was saying oh yeah, we just get different stuff all the time and we just have to go with the punches. And I was like, okay, I guess. But it just sucked because they had to buy all this stuff. And then it's they had this idea. And then last minute they were like, no, this is not it. Especially the dessert, which no one knows how to do.
Yes.
Which is really annoying.
Wait, and as a sidebar, so sorry to have neglected this detail. Speaking of a dessert, which no one knows how to do. Before the twist happens, because basically it's day 1, they get the assignment, they do their groceries, they come home that night and hang out, and then the next day is the cook. At night, they're talking about how what are we cooking? Steven's gonna cook he's making a dessert. He looks up recipes on AOL. I screamed.
I saw that. I was and honestly, I think it's really funny because I think because I was noticing the episode a lot more because I wanted to make sure I remember things for this.
Yeah.
So, but I think I was paying attention too much because I didn't realize how aggressive the product placement was. Like for everything, AOL. I mean, they talked about Kenmore appliances like 1,005 times. Whenever they drove a car, they would state the name of the car.
I'm going into my Toyota Sienna.
We rolled up on our Highlanders. I'm like,
yeah, rolling in our Highlanders. Very natural.
It so much.
Yeah.
So when I saw the AOL, I was like, AOL. I was like, this is so early 2000s. I forget. I mean, I get it from like the graininess of the actual like image, the video of like the show.
Yeah.
And like their fashion. Oh, good Lord, their fashion is another thing. But when I saw AOL, I was like, wow, this is dated.
I was literally like, wait, can we linger on this shot? What recipe came up on AOL's search function?
Yeah, was he just like good chocolate dessert?
Yeah, and it was like one Martha Stewart recipe or something. Like I don't even know what would have come up.
He said recipes, and he put in quotation that Ted Allen likes or prefers.
Yes, he did. You were so right, Janelle. He said dessert from Ted Allen cookbook or something.
Yeah, it was like something like specifying like they were.
You were so right. That oh my God, that deepens it so. Oh, what a. And what's so crazy is on Top Chef, you're not allowed to look up recipes. That must have been something they implemented after this.
Yeah.
But what a funny thing to look up.
Like it was just so hilarious. I was like, and they put it in quotes. So.
Yes. How to make Tom Colicchio like me, AOL.com.
Yeah, Steven is so nuts. And it is so crazy because we had Sarah Bradley, who was the runner-up on Top Chef Kentucky, on the show last week. Oh. And she was talking about how you can't, now for Top Chef, you cannot bring in a watch. You cannot bring in a book, not even a cookbook or a notebook. You cannot bring in a like reading book.
Yeah.
You cannot bring in like anything at all. You cannot have a phone. You cannot, like, there are so many things you cannot have. So you are literally fully isolated. So all the food has to be things that you think of on the fly or things that you like really memorized when you came to the show.
That's really intense. I feel like because when I'm watching from season 1 to season 3, I feel like so much has changed. Like, I feel like the deliberations, like how many people they asked to come into the room, like
the amount of people they asked to come varies. Like for like, you mean like to compete?
Yeah, I think it's like the winners. It's like 2, and then out of nowhere, it's like 5, and then. Yeah. And it's like, what is the rules here? Is it just like whatever goes, a very laissez blah, like they don't really care? Like what is going on here? And then I guess I kind of like that because it keeps you on your toes, because then sometimes I'm just like, what? I'm like, I think
that's why they do it. So you never know, like a top 5, that must be the bottom or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought this twist it was okay. It did bum me out because I think Mike said this in the chat, or Matt, sorry. Matt said this in the chat where it's like, it sort of, you're getting credit for someone else's creativity in a way. I think they should have really emphasized like, do your interpretation. I think it was very much like cook the thing they were gonna cook or something.
Yeah,
I would think that's like a quick fire challenge or something.
Yeah. I think that 2 better ways that they could have handled it is they could have either gone in that way of like, do your rendition of this dish, or make a totally different dish with the ingredients.
The same ingredient. It can't. Yeah, like if someone was going to make a gnocchi, you cannot make a pasta, kind of thing.
Yes, but what ended up happening is they were just like,
how did you want to do this? Okay, cool, thanks.
Yeah, and then they all ended up being like, well, we made the dish together. And to me, it felt like a really like glaring error that people just hadn't thought about yet because the show had just started. Yes. Because it did seem like the judges were like, and how did you do this? And they were like, oh, we just made it together. And the judges were like, oh.
Okay.
Right, okay. And you know what I mean? It just seemed so thoughtless to me, which was very bizarre. Yes. So I hated this challenge.
Interesting. Okay. I did find it, because when we always go back to our challenges, a lot like zooming out, was it conducive to creativity? And I think the answer is no for this one. Or like it could have been, but it wasn't. And everyone ended up just like, what was your recipe? Got it, like kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think that does take a little bit of the joy out of it for sure.
Yeah. I don't like this challenge. I think it's so boring. They should have done something else. Even the initial challenge was just like make a dinner for my friends. It's like, that's boring too. I needed some more oomph. And then I thought the most bizarre thing was it felt like every single show. Oh yeah, Janelle, what's up?
Well, now when I think about it, in the initial, like way before the quickfire challenge, they were like, the theme of today is like all the challenges are going to be, it's going to be pressure. They were like, everything is going to be very like they're like, oh, it's going to be, don't we really have enough pressure? And I guess they really emphasized that at the end. Like, it was not that great of a challenge, but like, I feel like the main thing was like, can they handle pressure? And not.
I think that's a great point. Because like Matt in the chat just brought up too that all the dishes were pretty safe and boring as well.
That's what I was gonna say. It felt like every single chef forgot how to cook in this episode. Almost like nobody knew how to do anything.
Honestly, there was one episode in Top Chef where all the chefs were like, what? How do you make an egg? Like
they did do their yes. And maybe it's worth going through what the dishes were. So like this is gonna be a confusing way to say it because they did switch. So the first course, which was Miguel's, was smoked scallops and caviar on a latke. But Andrea ended up taking over this dish, but kind of not really.
Oh my God, that was the worst part. I don't even know I think we can skip to the ending of the episode. But she's just kind of like, they were like, oh, so what did you cook? And she, with the biggest smile on her face, the latkes.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I was like, why are you so proud about the latkes? Like, that's all you did? Like,
yeah, it is sort of crazy because I think in future seasons, they're very much like, no. They analyze you on one dish. Like, whatever one you take ownership of has to be the thing you are judged on. You can't be like, I did two things, or you'll be docked for two things, you know?
Yeah. I think they don't really do challenges like this. There's one challenge in Top Chef New Orleans that feels even remotely close to this. But I think in general, in my opinion, after they did this, they were like, oh, this is bad and doesn't work. So it tried to do other stuff and stay away from it.
Absolutely. Second course, and actually, do we give that a thumbs up or thumbs down? To smoked scallops and caviar on a latke sound good?
Sure.
I thought it's
good. Yeah, but I guess I would wonder if the latke could stay crispy if you put all that stuff on top of it, unless you were really good about serving it immediately.
Yeah.
When I think about a latke, it's like a potato pancake, right?
Yeah.
I just think of like a tostones, like the same thing. And I'm sure, like I've put things on tostones.
It holds up.
And it holds up, so.
Yeah. Second course, roasted chanterelle soup. This was Dave's course originally, but became Steven's, and by proxy became Harold's as well.
Right. I give this a thumb. This sounds good to me.
Ooh.
No mushrooms?
I don't like mushrooms. I don't like soup. So like, this is not a dish for me.
Oh.
No, you might have one of the most controversial palates that's ever come to Talk Chef.
It's really funny because I do eat a lot of different things. I'm very particular about some items. Like I just won't.
Here's what I'll say about soup. I like soup. One of my favorite foods in the world is borscht, which is maybe psychotic.
That's true.
But like, I remember in college, anytime there was like soup in the dining hall or whatever, and I got it because it was like cold outside or something, or like we went to Panera or whatever, it would take me like 2 hours to eat. It would take me so long to eat soup. And it's not because I don't like it. It's just, I enjoy chewing my food. So I like a soup. It's not even that I like a chunky soup. It's not my favorite food in the world. But when I have a soup I really like it. So like, I think I would love this mushroom soup a lot.
I think I feel like I won't get much out of it.
Yeah.
I feel like I want like a meal. I know.
What if you get a big loaf of bread on the side?
Jonah's face is like disgusted.
Process it. It's crazy to hear two people talk about how they like don't really. Reka's saying it would take her 2 hours to eat a soup,
which is, I'm admitting, is crazy. I don't do that anymore. That's not me anymore. I'm cool now.
Thank God. I could never host a show if you were still like that. But no, that's interesting. I get that. I think soup is such a textural thing. I love it. I could chug soup at a rate that would make you sick to watch or try to recreate.
Yeah.
I love soup. Janelle, I do want to know how you feel about a chowder.
I've never had a chowder.
Okay. So chunky soup and thin soup we don't like.
I think I think I would like a chowder more than I would like a soup. I've never had a chowder. I've always thought like maybe I should order it one day. I just never had it because I think I would get more out of it than soup. soup is just like this liquid substance that's just like in a bowl. And it's just kind of
Okay,
like,
wait, can I maybe try to extend an olive branch? Do you like French onion soup?
I honestly don't eat soups ever. I've never had any type of soup. I think I just like rejected it for a very long time.
Conceptually, Janelle has rejected soup.
Yeah, I don't allow it into my, like, you know how they say, like, kick your toxic friends to the curb? Janelle has picked soup.
I just never thought I would like it. So I was just like, never ate it. And then I never had a reason to like go out of my way to eat it. So I just like, no, it's okay.
Sure. It is funny that I've said this because I literally make borscht every week and I could eat my weight in it. So there are definite exceptions. So I wonder if one day, Janelle, please hop back onto the show if you find a soup exception. Because I'd love to.
We got to have you back on if the soup opinion changes.
Yes.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Our third course was a pan-seared John Dory fish, Dory from Finding Nemo, with some vegetables. This was Andrea's, but then it went to Dave. I don't know. I'm like, whatever. It sounds kind of boring. It sounds like two very lean things to me.
I like it, so I'll give it the benefit of the doubt.
Fourth course, fig stuffed gnocchi with a duck confit. This was Tiffany's, and it went to Leanne. This makes me nut. This dish makes me want to nut. It sounds
so good.
I love gnocchi. Gnocchi is my favorite type of pasta. Figs are incredible. I've never had duck. It looks great.
Yeah. I never thought of having, like, as they said, they talk about fig and gnocchi, and I'm like, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Incredible. Okay, so we all love that. Fifth course, Harold was gonna make a foie gras onion jam on beef with I think shards. This was Harold's dish and went to Tiffany.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know what foie gras tastes like, but an onion jam, beef, Swiss chard, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, why
not? Sixth course was Leanne's originally. It was a duo of cheeses with a beet sorbet. This went to Miguel. And the cheese was famously, Miguel could not remember, which I think Tom was being mean about. I can't pronounce it. I wrote the phonetic spelling and I can't pronounce it.
Oh my God. Fromdambert is, I think, what it's called. And why? Don't look at me like that.
Oh my God,
wake up. Don't look at me like that. I just think that it was, I'm not coming for you. I'm coming for Miguel. I think it is wild that he could not remember it. And I think to do that to a normal person,
it
would be like, oh, that's really rude. I would never do that to a normal person.
Yeah.
But I think it's really spoke to his state of mind. He mixes the salt with the sugar. He messes up the thing. He gives up. He tries to help Andrea.
He was a tornado in the kitchen.
Just a mess. And then even putting palm olive in the dishwasher. So then he like makes a huge mess.
Was that confirmed? Because Leanne just said that, but I wasn't sure if that was confirmed that he put palm olive in.
No, it's because usually that's what happens when you put like like that type of liquid into the dishwasher. But like I was thinking about that and I was like, maybe like I was like, that's such a dumb move, but some people don't have dishwashers. So like maybe he thought.
I'm like, he worked in a restaurant. Like
but feel like they're steamed washing. They don't actually use dishwashers. And I was thinking about that. I was like, what kind of idiot doesn't know you can't put that in there? But then I was like, but not everyone has a dishwasher. So some people just put soap in and then when they figure it out, they're like, oh no. So everyone was like, oh my God, he did that. And I'm like, maybe he doesn't have a dishwasher.
Wait, can I also say, in a true Miguel moment, the amount of times he said palm olive, I thought pine salt every single time. And I was like, why the fuck would he put pine salt?
Liquid dish soap.
Not floor cleaner. Not wooden floor cleaner.
Yeah. No, not that. Sorry, Rika.
But, I was like, that's so rude to think that he put pine salt. My Miguel is so fucking stupid.
No, that would be even wild. But I think the thing about this is it all just makes it seem like, and it's not just in this episode, it's in every single episode, he seems like a big baby, both in his personality and in the way that he executes things.
Sure.
And I'm like, you're an adult man. You gotta like get it together. Like he doesn't know how to do the dishes, which I've had times where I like did not have dishwashers, so that totally makes sense to me. But I think with everything else that he's done, and like mixing the salt for sugar, and him just being like, you guys, I made a mistake. Like he just feels like a big baby. And then when they realize the stuff with the dishwasher, he's like, oh, so nobody's gonna help me clean it up? I'm like, what, a small mess that you made? No, you don't need help. What? Like,
that's
what
very
are you
funny.
talking about?
So in your mind, he's like a baby that pooped on the floor, but like an adult baby. And he's like, you're not going to help me clean up my poop on the floor?
Oh my God, Reka, that analogy is
what you said.
It's truly wild. I guess, yes.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to confirm that we understand each other fully.
Yes. Okay. In Reka terms, yes, that's true. Yeah, he just seems like a child, and I think it's annoying. I don't care.
Yeah.
Sure. The last course, just to slip this in, 7th course, it was Steven's. I don't know what Steven was going to make. It was some sort of chocolate dessert. So I don't know if Harold changed it at all, but a lot of the ingredients were like 5 spice, black tea, that kind of stuff. I was like very disparate, very fancy ingredients. It ended up being a milk chocolate soup, a white chocolate semi-Fredo, and a flourless chocolate cake. I think that sounds, here's my thought. I think that's too many of the same type of flavor.
Sure.
Like to me, that should be a raspberry coulis, not like a milk chocolate soup. Or the cake should be not chocolate and should be something else. Or like, to me, that's just a poorly planned sort of progression. It's like, oh, milk chocolate, sweet, white chocolate, even sweeter, flourless chocolate cake, incredibly rich. Like, it just seems like it would be really cloying. I would try it, but I could not finish a whole thing.
Yeah, I couldn't. That's too rich in chocolate for me. Like I need like a.
Okay, and here's where I come in. I would eat all of it fast, right? I like chocolate, and I know that it's not right, Reka. I know that you're right. I know that like we need a raspberry coulis to offset things. I know we need something that like is a little different. Maybe we add a ginger to it or something different to mix it up. I get that. That being said, I mean, I could eat, I don't know, 30 to 40 Krispy Kreme donuts. Yeah. So that is me being wrong, but you know. He wants to know, Janelle, if you would like chocolate soup because of how you feel about soup.
Wow. Okay.
Hey, coming with a question.
Faye is coming for you.
Yeah, Faye's after you right
now. Faye, no, I would not have a chocolate soup.
Okay, wait. But would you have a plantain soup? I'm trying to pick something you liked earlier today. Would you have a
soup? I know Janelle likes pancakes. Pancake soup?
Sure.
Okay. We don't need to have Janelle back because Janelle would eat pancake soup. Perfect. Incredible. Honestly, I would too. Okay.
Well, I don't know if you guys ever been to it's in the city. It's called like City Bakery. It has something
absolutely, and their hot chocolate that's just melted chocolate. I am sorry that I'm screaming.
But oh my God, that is chocolate soup.
It is chocolate soup. I could only have a shot glass of it.
I a big milk gallon of it.
Yeah, no, it makes me
nauseous.
The pipeline from in my mouth to diarrhea is like this. Something like that.
Okay, so Reka said PM, and it really like opened Reka's mind to how much feces she could talk about on the show.
I do not mind, perhaps like talking about BMs. I think it's important.
She's a real Andrea.
Yes, I'm like an Andrea. Yeah, you're a Samantha. I'm an Andrea.
Question: I do want to know who, if you were to say not who you like best, but who you are right now in this moment of your life compared to that chef at that moment in their life, who would you be? It can be anyone so far on this season. It doesn't just have to be a contestant from this episode.
Like, honestly, like, I would love to be like, I'm a Leanne, but sometimes I could be a Dave.
Janelle, I was thinking very similarly.
I don't know if I would cry. I think I feel a lot, but I think Dave's nicer than me. I don't think he's so deeply like invested in the other chefs. Like, it really hurts him to see a chef go, even when I'm like, you were friends with that person. Like, and it's so sweet. It's really touching. I love watching Dave.
I would say, like, even this episode, he was like crying for literally no reason. I had to be like, what are you crying about? Like,
oh, poor Dave.
Yeah,
Okay.
I totally agree with Janelle. I would have to say, I feel like my impulse is to be like, I'm a Leanne. I'm absolutely not. I would say I am a Tiffany with a Dave rising.
I was gonna say I'm weirdly like, I can be too acidic sometimes when I'm like in the zone, or like if communication isn't great. And so that way I feel like a Tiffany. I'm very soft. So in that way I feel like a Dave. And I think I also really don't like confrontation. In that way, I'm like a Harold.
Harold.
And I'm hanging in the corner being like, can this fight be done?
I watched like a recent episode, like season 3. I'm skipping, I'm not trying to, but like I've never seen Harold yell before. And like I was like, whoa, Harold is yelling. I was like, this is wild.
He says fuck in Italian.
He does. He says "bancoli" in this episode. I was like, wait.
I didn't know that's what it was. I thought he was just saying a word. I was like, what?
No, it is because my friend is Italian and that's the only word he taught me.
Okay.
I, if possible, liked Harold even more. I was like, wow, he knows he's on TV. He can't say fuck. He's going to say it in Italian.
I know. The thing is, it was so funny because I didn't think like Harold was like super attractive in the beginning. Like, I was not like very attracted to him, but towards the end, I was like, I am all Harold. I was like,
listen, this podcast is all for Harold. Wait, yeah. What do you like about Harold? Let's go.
Well, he's very humble. There were some moments where it kind of bothered me because I felt like he was kind of like with Steven a little bit in some points, and I didn't like that. And I'm like, Harold, who are you? Are you going to be the nice guy or the mean guy? Like, who are you going to be? And then I feel like there's a point where even towards the end, he like made a lot of friends with the chefs there. And I think like he really did want to back people up. And even towards the end, I'm not trying to spoil anything for anyone, but like he was just very much like trying to be in the competition and work with other people really well. And I thought that was so amazing. I was like, you are such a kind-hearted soul. Like it just really, I think that's what got me the most. It's mostly just like, he's just such a kind-hearted soul, and he can cook, and he's tall, and he's not bad looking either. Yo.
Okay,
Harold, call Janelle.
Call Janelle, Harold, you have to. He is normal and he has a job done and done.
I look to the point of my life. You know, I can't. Like
it's like a Benjamin Button situation. You guys have to make sure you line up at the right
time. Or like a lake house, like maybe like you're sending letters to him in 2006.
Yeah.
Or like a sliding doors where if you on one, if you'd miss the subway by 1 second, you would.
Or like a Back to the Future and you're gonna fuck Harold's mom.
Exactly.
That's basically that.
That's what you're feeling, right, Janelle?
Yeah. That's the feeling you're feeling. Incredible. So yes, there was a lot of teaming up, as we said. Steven and Harold ended up teaming up together because Harold really needed help with this dessert. Steven didn't help him as much as he maybe could have. Steven also bought wine and was serving it after every course. And it was like, oh my God, please stop. And he did the thing where he took off the champagne cork with a knife and they were all like,
I just think Steven is so funny. Everything he does makes me laugh. Him talking about his own dishes. He's always like, Tom came in the kitchen, told me the most beautiful man he's ever seen. He kissed me right on the lips. Like, I'm just like, we all watched the show.
Yeah.
Like,
you didn't see it, but he slipped me his number. And I was like, what? And he said, yeah, you made a good.
Yeah, it's like, we watched the show. He didn't say any of that, Steven. He's like, everyone was talking about how exquisite my dishes. And it's like, no.
Yeah. I think Katie asked me on a date and I was like, no. And
yeah, I was like, no, you're married to Billy Joel.
Yes. Okay, so we head to the judges table. On top, Tiffany, Leanne, and Steven. And Leanne ends up winning. Here's where I started to take issue with this episode. Tom, in true, I felt very weird about it. He was like, so you had to eliminate Miguel, like, or who do you want to eliminate? I'm like, what the fuck? Why are you asking that? That's usually in like a team challenge when you're like, who wasn't pulling their weight? Not like whatever the fuck this is. That's just the real subject of that question is, who don't you like in the house? And then Tiffany's like, I'll speak up, Miguel.
I think they kind of sprinkle that in every now and again. Even like seasons now, like I'm up to season 3 and they kind of still do that. And I'm just like, why do you keep asking who needs to be sent home?
Why does it matter? Yeah, only if it matters. The only time it matters to me is if there's like, oh, was someone not pulling their weight and they acted like they made that dish, but they didn't? Tell us. Not like,
I think it's
gossip time. Who do you hate?
No, I think it's they like to instigate some drama on that show. He's also a producer. He's like, probably just like, you know what, it's some drama.
Especially in the first few seasons, for sure. Like, I think they changed their tune later, but I really hated that. And they like forced them to answer. And Tiffany answers. Leanne kind of stays classy as fuck. And then Stephen, of course, also is like, I think Andrea is weaker than Miguel, but both are ultimately weaker than me.
I think it's so crazy because I will say that if a man cooked the way that Miguel cooked.
If a man or a woman?
Or if a woman.
If a woman cooked the way.
But what was I going to say?
Were you going to say that they would have been eliminated, or were you going to say?
I think I was going to say that if a woman cooked the way Miguel cooked, I don't think they would give him as hard of a time. I think, no. Okay, I worked it back to it. My brain froze. Okay. I think that wait, no, I lost it again. This was a really good thought that I had during
they're giving someone a harder time because of their gender is the core root.
I think so, or them just asking, like, to me, Miguel does not seem especially professional in some of these episodes, and the way that he comes after Tiffany, or like how Steve comes after Andrea and stuff, I'm like, I truly do think that if they were men, they would not be having this issue with them.
I agree. I do think that Miguel would have not said much, or said it as pointedly and said, "You're a snake." To them like he did today. I also didn't like it because the implication was that Tiffany marched in there and said, by the way, eliminate Miguel, which Tiffany did say his name, but she was very heavily asked by Tom, and Miguel has no reason to believe that. He's like, yeah, so Tom's lying to me? I'm like, Tom didn't lie, but he did omit that he said, hey, Tiffany said you should go home. That's not how it happened, Tom. You asked them, I mean.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's such an instigator, because then he tells, for some reason, I don't know why he's telling Miguel specifically who said. He could have just been like, they wanted you to go home, and then that's it. Like,
exactly.
The name. He broke it down. He's like, well, Leanne and Tiffany both thought that you were crazy in the kitchen. Also, Tiffany was like, you need to go. I'm like, why are you recapping and causing drama? Like, what if he was a violent person? Like, what's wrong with you? I can't see Miguel being a violent person, but like, I'm just saying, like, you don't just say things like that and then be like, all right, well, let's see what happens. Like,
it's just, you're straight up lying. You're like straight up omitting a huge part of that equation that happened. So in the end, Andrea ends up getting eliminated. Miguel was like, hey, you've been a real friend. I was like, I think you guys fought pretty heavily in the last episode, but whatever.
Because he thought
that she tanked the dish and she had immunity.
I think that's another way in which Miguel feels like a child to me, is that he does think that everyone is sabotaging him. And I'm like, do you think you're not doing a good job? So like, no one is needing to like, take you down or what? It's like, you're down, my guy.
It was weird because in the first half of the episode, they kind of stressed a lot that like Miguel felt like everybody was against him. And then like the later half, he was like, I have to help my girl Andrea out with her dish because mine is not going to be successful. And I'm like, I'm so confused. Like, which team are you on? Are you going to not like these people or are you going to like these people? Like, what's this?
That felt like a move you make. This is me psychologizing, maybe in an unnecessary way, but you're being filmed. You kind of feel manic and you know you're being filmed. And you're like, okay, how can I look less crazy? Let me just help someone else, kind of. And maybe that's like rude, but that's sort of what it read like to me.
Yeah.
That didn't help him at the end of the day because he looked crazy anyway, like yelling at Tiffany.
Yeah, it is a lot. So that's how that episode ended up. So the dish that won, just to clarify, was Leanne's, which was the big stuffed gnocchi, which we all loved. And the dish that lost was Andrea's latke with like caviar and smoked scallops.
Yeah, which I think was good. I think Andrea was like ready to go.
I think so too. And I honestly, this show really does make me see, this is such a stupid sentence, but just like kind of the type of person I would like to be. Because you see the people that are really confrontational in ways that are like, I stand up for what I believe in. And you're like, actually, you are really confrontational in a way that isn't necessary. And you see the people that are able to like speak their piece. Like Leanne is probably a good example, but also have a ton of integrity and aren't about drama. You see these like balances that people can achieve.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
No, I really do I love Top Chef just because I like this reality show specifically because I have experience watching some reality TV shows, but I like this one very specifically just because they're real people.
Yes.
Like I just feel like they're genuinely real people. I don't know if because of their chefs, but like I like it just because like I watched this entire season and then obviously others just because I wanted to watch the reunion episode. The reunion episode makes it worth it. And I can't wait to watch what you guys say about the reunion episode because that was wild.
Yeah, as a little bit of just a teaser for our audience, the reunion episode of season 1 of Top Chef is easily the most chaotic piece of television I've ever seen. It's crazier than a Real Housewives reunion. It like really is, it feels like, I don't want to say too much, but it really feels like no one has a handle on any element of it whatsoever. It's wild.
Honestly a rough draft of what it should have been. Like and then it was like chaos. And it was like they were like, okay, guys, now we have to do it again so we can get everything right.
Oh, but they're like, God. Okay, that was the brainstorming session.
That was the brainstorming session. They're like, okay, like let's go back to it. Like, I don't know. It was very strange. It was
so funny. Incredible. Any other thoughts we had from this episode?
I don't think so. I think that was most of mine.
Same. Okay, great. Well, Janelle, we always like to end on a particular question for our Instagram. Jordan?
So every week what we do is we put up the dish you would have made versus the actual dish that won. This one, I would say, is the first one that feels a little bit harder because you don't have the challenge of having to get someone else's dish.
Yeah.
So I guess the challenge is just you're cooking a dinner for Ted Allen's book signing 8-person party. You have $50. What are you going to make?
Yeah.
Is it like an appetizer, then dinner, and then dessert? Or is it
you just have to do whatever course you want. So I can go over the dishes they made in case.
You know what? I'll even challenge you. Let's step it up one thing. What course was it that Leanne won?
Leanne won the the
5th course?
Pasta course. 4th course.
4th course. Okay, so Janelle, let's say that you have to do a 4th course.
And I could pick any ingredients that I want.
Yeah.
Yes.
I probably would create I don't know how to say it properly because I did it the other day and it was quite wonderful. It was Cochio e pepe.
Oh, cacio e pepe?
Yes, thank you.
No, you're fine. I'm sure someone Italian in the audience is like, oh my God, Reika's sounded like. Yeah.
I did it with like a lemon zest on the top. And let me tell you, it was wonderful. I was so proud of myself. I didn't think I would do that. But I would definitely, did Leanne put scallops in hers? No, she didn't.
No, hers is the duck confit.
Duck. I guess, I don't know if that would mix well. I think I would just mix all that. I would just put scallops in with
like a seared scallop. That sounds good.
That sounds so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really had pasta really, besides the gnocchi. No, gnocchi is pretty good. Never mind. But I think I would just do another pasta dish.
Yeah. No, that sounds great. Incredible. And are you excited? Is there anything you're excited to cook this week?
I've honestly been really terrible at cooking this week. I've been getting a lot of takeout.
That's okay.
I have nothing planned on the menu, but hopefully it will change because I can't keep ordering takeout every single day.
Yeah.
And nothing's right now. I don't know how other people feel, but like my mindset is just like I can't think of what I want to eat. Like I'm just like I don't know what I want to make. I don't know what sounds appetizing to me. Like even the things that I'm ordering, I'm kind of just like I didn't really want it, but I'm like I need food. I need something to eat. Instead of just having cereal in a bowl. Not at the moment, and I'm sorry that I don't have anything that I could say.
Oh my God, you're fine. You're fine. What about you, Jordan?
You know, I'm kind of starting to run on fumes a little bit when it comes to ingredients, but I do have some homemade pierogies, some potato and cheese pierogies that I made in my freezer that I made in froze a while back. So I'm going to have those with some sauteed cabbage at some point. I think that'll be good.
Yum.
All right. Well, thanks so much. We've raised almost $100.
Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much. But remember, Jordan's Venmo will be open for 24 hours. You can still keep donating. Invisible Hands Deliver is the name of the charity. Again, they deliver groceries, prescriptions to people who are vulnerable to COVID, and they also turn in ballots for voting. So Janelle, you are top chef.
What?
Yes.
Stop. Wow. I didn't have to cook. That was great.
Yeah, you got immunity and you didn't have to cook in the challenge. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. It was so great having you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
We'll be back next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Follow Janelle on Instagram. Follow Talk Chef on Instagram. I don't even know how to use YouTube. Don't Reka. Subscribe to her.
You can subscribe to me to get, all these videos in your inbox. There's also a playlist I have up that we'll link on Twitter and etc. And thank you guys so much for watching. We love our weekly audience. So thank you and have a great week, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.